Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my tiny workshop! It's the show where we make tiny kaiju for stop motion out of affordable stuff. Oh, what's a kaiju? Hey, Moot, tell them what a kaiju is. Moot? Moot? Moot, pay attention. You're not even watching the thing with the sound on. Moot. Moot, I'm not paying you $100 an hour to do nothing except lifelessly watch whatever. Hey, come on, man. Come on. Come on. Hey, you get right back up. Do the thing for the show. Yeah. A kaiju is a giant monster originating in Japan. The West refers to the kaiju as giant monsters, but the Japanese refer to him as a weird creature, normally meant to destroy buildings and stuff, and Thanks for that poor explanation, but you get the gist of it. Alright, let's start with what you need to make a kaiju. So what you'll need is plumber's epoxy, floral wire, clay, I'm going to use Cos clay, paints, oh yeah, various kinds of armature wire, and masking tape, or I'm using painter's tape. Yes, that's all you'll need to make your kaiju. Also, if you want, you could use resin for eyes. Resin. Ooh. I'm not going to throw that across the table. That's crazy, because these things are expensive and it'll get everywhere. You don't want to get that in your feet. It's toxic. And also, if you're going to have, if any kids are making any creatures or any kaiju, you have an adult present. Okay, so to get started, you're going to need to get your armature wire and form two sides, like with legs and arms. You know, they form to form Captain Planet and such. And I like to do little loops at the bottom here for the feet. So, you know, you got an arm side and a foot side. And then after that, you add on a head. So you have the head going through the body, the two halves of the body. And what you'll do next is, I'm sorry, but I ran out of gloves due to the coronavirus, and it's kind of hard to mix the epoxy. So, yeah. So, if you have gloves, mix the epoxy. Don't do it by hand, because it'll get in your skin and it's toxic. Again, if there are any kids doing this, make sure you have an adult present. So what you'll do is, I'll show you what it looks like. Get out of there. So, it's kind of like a Rolo, or the inside of a Rolo, or a Tolmaro. Tomaro, I don't know how you pronounce that crap. Well, anyway, so there's the inside. It's the dark. It's side A and side B, and basically pinch off a little bit and you mix it together. But yeah, don't do that by hands, though. You know, you'll see commercials for this stuff online, and dudes doing it with barehanded, which is nuts, especially in the industry. We all know, do not do that, because you will get cancer. You won't get cancer from doing it once, but if you do it over and over for years, yeah. Okay, well, lost my head. Okay, so you got your head part, you got your arm and leg part here, side left and right, swoosh. Put those together, kind of like so. Alright? So what you'll do is, once you put them together, you'll put the chest part right here. You'll mix that epoxy and put it here. And you'll bind it together. And you want the head through the body. And you'll bind it here. And to keep the sides, both side A and B together, you're going to wrap it all in masking tape or painter's tape, whatever you got. And yeah, you'll have a little body like this, and you'll put some of the epoxy on the head and then the feet. And it'll kind of be able to stand up on its own there. So the next step is, what is this guy going to look like? What is he going to look like? So I had an idea. I want to make like a good guy, but I'm going to base it off of characters that already exist from pop culture. I chose Saint Seiya, you know, Saint Seiya! And Ultraman. You know, the blows up the guy and guts go everywhere and yeah, yada yada. Well, anyway, and the Guyver, you know, Bio Booster Armor Guyver. Well, anyway, I have the design here. So he's gonna look something like this. Alright, let's get started. Bum bum. Oh, it's one body now. And the head, piece la resistance. Whatever that means. People like, you know, like a good neck for looking around and stuffs. So you bind your epoxy here, will keep your head and arms intact, and it won't cause this hinge kind of thing going on here, you know. And bind the waist with another thing of epoxy and give it hips, and put epoxy on the feet. I did the loops so the epoxy will stay in. A lot of times if you put epoxy on just bare hands like this, or bare wire like this without like a curl, it'll just slide right off. So yeah, give it a nice epoxy head and it'll look something like this. Well, that's a good die. And now for the most tedious part of the build. The hands. Alright, get your floral wire, unravel it like so. You're gonna need a long bit just in case, because you know fingers are kind of hard to determine. Oh yes, also make sure to have some needle nose pliers around, very helpful for this, and yada yada yada. Ha cha 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 cha. Okay, enough of that. Alright, let's get started. Alright, I had a quick time skip there. So if you can see in the background, it's daytime now. Well, anyway, so what we're doing now is, you notice that I put extra plumber's epoxy here. That's to give it, well, the substance I'm using today is Cos clay. It's a polymer clay that has flexibility to it like plastic or rubber. You can also use plasticine clay, like regular modeling clay. I'm using the Cos clay, so what I'm doing is I'm making more of an arm with the epoxy, and around the joints going to put in like, you know, more of a knee or so too with the epoxy as well, because though cosplay is flexible, it can crack in like high tension areas like this that bend a lot, so the less possibility for it to bend and break, the better. So we'll have like where it connects, it'll be probably the exposed plumber's epoxy, and we'll have the cosplay connecting to it. So the cosplay's gonna go over all of this, go over this up to the knee and up to where the part of the leg connects to the knee, to the patella here. So let's get started on that. Alright, this is one of the most fun parts of the project. The eyes, the entrance of the soul. So, first I sculpted some eyes and I made a little mold with this stuff called Super 4 molds, like amazing mold honey. Oh yeah, amazing mold honey. You just get one side A, side B, and mix it together, and it turns into this yellow stuff, and you press in your sculpture, and then you pour in the resin. So, I don't know where the original sculptures are. I made them out of Super Sculpey, which is a polymer clay that you can bake in the oven. So, if you don't have resin, you can make eyes out of Super Sculpey and bake them in the oven. Or if you don't want to even do that, you could use plasticine clay on plasticine. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to measure 2 sides of clear casting resin and make some eyes. Now for the dye. This particular character, I'm using a fine glitter. In my powder pack, or powder lunch box, with a little powder. You can use powder dyes, resin, or liquid dyes. That will cure eventually in about 24 hours, but already got some eyes made. So we'll get started, shall we? And also, to make these eyes really pop, you want to put some glossy, super glossy fingernail polish on them, and it just makes the eyes pop like crazy, because when it dries it doesn't look shiny, it looks dull, and it will stand out like a normal eye if you put some gloss on it. Alright, let's get started with the build. I like starting with the head first. It usually makes sure you have even proportions if you start up top with the noggin. Alright, so as you can see, I jumped ahead a little and went ahead and made the arms, or sorry, the arm, and I'm about to work on the next one. So, got the mobility in the hands, and fingers, which I'll include some joints in, and the fingers, so they'll be easily moved and bent. And yeah, I'm going to get started on the next arm, and I'll do those details in a moment. Hi! Oh, I got the mange and a costume change. So, often, when you're making things like creatures and whatnot, you'll occasionally, oftenish, run into some sort of obstacle, which you then are going to have a surgery. Right, not too shabby. Leg is back to normal and working a-okay. Woo! Now back to work. So now I'm working on this part of the samurai armor. As you can see here, started on it's hard to do this left-handed on the plates, which will go in like shielding his legs and stuff. Alright everyone, and now it's time to bake. Get baked! Yeah! Alright, he's all baked and ready to go. Now to do the fun part, the painting. Ooh, painting! Alright, he's fully painted and primed, and we'll be ready for the last few coats. And that's what I'm going to do next. Haha! Okay, so as I've started painting this guy, I've realized, sometimes you discover, like, you subliminally did something to your piece, a little bit of your own inspiration coming out. What I've actually noticed is, since I started painting, I'm noticing a lot of influences from the early 80s Eastman and Lards. If you don't know who Eastman and Lards they are these guys that made a comic book about 4 young teenagers. They had a skin condition. They're green. You may have heard it. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you can see face and what's going on now. And I'm not even meaning like the faceplate looking kind of like Shredder. I mean like the body style. The big hands, big feet, thin body. It's really Eastman and Lards-esque. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, and I guess now back to painting. Alright, he's finally painted. So now I'm going to give him the extra gloss. So I make him like, extra shiny, like chrome. It's already looking kind of chrome, but he's going to be extra glossy. So he'll like really bling. Alright, see you soon. Alright, here's the finished armature with its stand. It is fully posable and magnets are keeping it in place. See? Cool, right? Oh, hey, hi, I just wanted to mention that I did change the eyes to be glow-in-the-dark. I painted them myself and stuff. I don't have anything for that video now, but I'll show you later.
Please leave a like and subscribe, and ring that bell notifications for further video content, and please share this video. Thanks.
Well, that's it. That's the end of our build. And I'm gonna call him something really terrible because I like campiness. Like I'm gonna put together Ultraman and Guyver. So let's call him Ultra Guy Man. Yes, there we go. And that's the armature. So, oh, golly gee, hey, hi, howdy who. Moot, I'm sorry about earlier. You know, when I pay someone $100 an hour, I kind of get angry to where I throw them against the wall. I'm sorry. What do you have to say, Moot?
I'm all out of bubblegum!
What?
Well, I drink your milkshake. You're a day late and $1 short. It is said that every several hundred years, the goddess Athena is reincarnated, and now a new Athena has been born into this world, but this time under a dark prophecy that she will lead mankind to ruin. The warriors who protect the goddess Athena were known as knights. Today, a new fate of the world. They're called the Knights of the Zodiac!
I'd also like to thank a few of my Patreon followers, Bill Perry, Travis Brewer, Stephanie Giles, and Brian Stanton. I'd also like to thank I'm so grateful for these peeps, David Furveg and Jay Alexander River with his band for providing music. Thank you so much for all your wonderful talents. And I hope to provide an awesome show again for you guys soon. Alright, till next time, this has been my tiny workshop! Meow, 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 meow! Yeah, meow, meow! Yeah, the best! Meow!